In this lesson, I want to explore comparative analysis between ASL and English. The linguistic structure of these two languages are very different. This is particularly important because at some point you may have a deaf student in your class. Each of these languages has its own unique phonology. Yes, ASL has its own phonetic system, as well as each language has its own morphology. In terms of English, think of word endings with meanings like ed, ing, s. ASL has its own distinct morphology too. Syntax, or the grammatical rules for English and ASL, are quite different. Semantics, which refers to meaning. English words have their roots from many sources. Multiple other languages, such as Latin, Greek, German, and so on. These word roots reflect the meaning of the English word. ASL too has borrowed from other sign languages, including the use of classifiers. So the two could not be further apart. You may be more familiar with linguistics. I am no expert, but knowing some basics will help us move forward. My intention is to provide you insight into the most commonly used verbs and the multiple ways in which they can be translated between English and ASL. We will be studying the following verbs: have, go, do, make, come, give, run, and phrasal verbs. Phrases with two words, one of which is a verb. We'll cover verbs for everyday actions, verbs related to speaking. We'll take the entire course to cover all of these verbs. Comparative analysis requires a notation system. You'll need to understand at least the rudimentaries of this system. It's a system to write down ASL signs in ASL order, which we will call ASL Gloss. So it's not going to be in English word order, it'll be in ASL order. It's still tied to written English, but it gives us a tool to compare the two. But at the same time, ASL Gloss is not how one would write English, obviously. If you read ASL Gloss, you would think it is broken English, that the author is incompetent in English. But it's a means to record in text what occurs naturally in ASL. It's a tool used in linguistics, translation work, and making videos in ASL. ASL writing systems are currently being developed, but these systems often use graphemes that can't be alphabetized. That makes them tough to learn and master. The protocol for ASL glosses is to write them in English caps. The ASL sign for deaf would be glossed as DEAF capitalized. You'll see all the signs glossed in capital letters. Please keep in mind that the meaning of the sign as portrayed in the gloss may not be the same meaning in English. ASL Gloss also incorporates additional symbols to help identify the sign and the meaning. If you see the symbol FS, that means the lexical unit was fingerspelled. So here I'm fingerspelling my name, Dr. Weber. Fingerspelling Regina, where I live. So when you see FS, it means fingerspelled. When glossing ASL, another notation tool is the quotation marks, like what. It refers to the fact that the sign is more of a gesture, like I am here, what. Same idea for the gesture well. In this example, the signs or gestures are very similar, but the meaning is different, which needs to be understood. ASL glosses also use the IX or index, IX symbol. So here the index finger, 1. So in this case, identifying pronouns, you, he or she. You'll notice since it's just a pointing finger, the gender is not apparent. ASL pronouns are not genderized, so without background knowledge, one doesn't know if the referent is male or female, non-gendered or trans. In ASL, the index gloss can mean you, he, she, it, her, him, just from one finger. With a change of motion, that index gloss means we, they, and it could be they singular and it could be they plural, as well as the sign we. In ASL, the motion is different, but the index hand shape is the same. Let me illustrate with a short ASL sentence. Now I'll demonstrate an ASL question. Now we move to the first verb, have. This is how it's signed. In this example, the ASL verb have is not used in the sentence. In the ubiquitous phrase in English, have a nice day, technically in ASL, you cannot have, possess a nice day. So you would sign it, you nice day. Have in English can have the connotation of a command. But in ASL, it's not the sign have, possession, that would convey the proper meaning. It's the sign must that is a better semantic fit. In English, have is considered a supporting verb, but in ASL, again, there is no reference to have to properly convey the intended meaning. I think that will be enough for today. So that's your introduction to comparative analysis.